My name is Sarah, and I'm one of the staff nurses on our labor and delivery unit here at Blue Ridge Hospital. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak with me.
Of course, Sarah. I briefly looked over your one-pager. What can I do for you?
Well, the purpose of my visit today is to make you aware of a potentially unethical human research study that is occurring on one of our units at Blue Ridge Children's Hospital right now. There is a current situation where a research pharmaceutical company has been granted access to our labor and delivery unit by administration in order to get consent forms signed for their study. Their study involves harvesting cord blood from umbilical cords of babies just delivered. The issue that I have seen is that the non-medical staff representatives of this company are permitted access to not only a limited access unit, but entry to supply rooms, patient rooms, and by default patient information and charts, as we keep those paper charts in the patient's rooms. The representatives have been instructed to approach mothers that are in active labor and tell them that by signing the consent, they are allowing their baby's stem cell cord blood to be used in research for cancer. The only problem is that when I and one of our patients really looked over the informed consent, the consent had absolutely no information about cancer research whatsoever.
Really? What did it say regarding the purpose of the study?
Actually, there was no direct purpose that the consent gave. It very well could be used for cancer, but the problem is that cancer research was nowhere specifically on the consent. This is very troubling, as for the past couple of months, staff nurses have been instructed to give the patients that seemed good candidates the consent form to sign, and when asked about purposes of the study, to tell the patients that it is for cancer research, when the consent actually states that once the form is signed, the research company has permission to harvest the cord blood and the ability to sell their research to both for-profit and nonprofit companies for their own profit without any compensation to the mothers, or even notification that the research is being sold. Another consideration is that when the mothers are in active labor, they are not really in a position to ask many questions about the study or the consent, especially when being approached by their L&D nurse, who they trust to be their advocate and not mislead them when it comes to research in their baby.
That's shocking, especially considering the amount of human research projects that we have happening on our campuses. The purpose of our institutional review board is to prevent unethical situations from occurring to begin with. It is essential that we get to the bottom of who approved this study and allowed these non-hospital staff to be allowed to access to this unit. What do you think we can do on the unit to ensure that this study is being done ethically and above board?
Well, first and foremost, we need to have clear and complete transparency about the study's purpose and what the cord blood research will be used for. The study needs to clearly outline the risks, benefits, purposes, costs, and profits that the company may potentially earn from the study, and also have some sort of verification that the mothers understand what it is exactly they are consenting for. These mothers need adequate time to study the consent and study the information about the study, rather than approaching them while they are currently in active labor. And these mothers need to be able to ask questions and receive answers before they sign the consent. In addition, either proof of HIPAA training for the company representatives or in-house training provided by the research company for their employees needs to happen so we can ensure that these patients and their information is being treated with respect and privacy.
These are all excellent suggestions. I would suggest that we approach the IRB as well with your findings, as we conduct a formal investigation into this study as soon as possible to determine whether what is happening on this unit is in fact unethical.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Smith. Here's a copy of my ask, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.